Hello everyone, it is Stacy with Stacy's Ritzy DP Crafts. How is everyone doing today? I am doing a much long overdue whip and chat for you guys. I'm sorry it's been kind of hectic lately, but I'm here to do it now and I'll try and get the hour in to help keep you guys company and everything. So welcome to my channel if you are new here. Thank you so much for coming along and joining and sticking around. We're working on Electric Tweety, which is a diamond painting from Diamond Art Club, and it's a 30 by 20 or 76 by 51 centimeters. There's 47 colors and 4 ABs, so yay. I have a little special I wanted to show you guys because I'm enhancing Tweety's eyes and eyelashes with DP with Sparklers. So DP with Sparklers is one of our creators or our sponsors for the event. DP with Sparklers is a sponsor for the event. And I've got other sponsors here. So I just want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors that are working with us with the hashtag Retro Cult Classic event. I just want to thank each and every one of you for providing stuff to allow this to happen and to do as a giveaway and make it even more fun for people. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I will be using today, I've got a diamond painting pen by Custom Diamond Painting Pens by TJ. It is a beautiful blue pen with some, oops, sorry, my nail polishes fell off on the first finger. I don't know why, but it's got a really pretty, I love that color right there, and some orange highlights in there and some light blue glitter swirls. So I really love the shape of this pen. And then I also have I have two Bistro Blank pens. This one is on the very, very chunky side, but I loved it because I celebrate Hanukkah and I really wanted a Hanukkah pen. So I knew this was going to be chunky when I got it, but I'm okay with that. But this is a super chunky one. This I would say is a medium thin kind of width, and then this one's a very chunky one. I do have my rainbow pen from them as well, which is a lot smaller than this, and I've got a custom coming in for the retro event that I have for one of the paintings that I ordered from Rose Profit Creations, who's another sponsor with us. So that pen is going to go along with my painting, and I cannot wait. She just was asking me like what colors I wanted to set up with it and what styles I like, so I let her know, and I cannot wait to get that. So, and then also our retro pens are, we saw the blanks on our live, I believe it was not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. So I was so excited to see the blanks for that, and we should have that here before the end of the event. I'm sure it's on its way at some point this week or next, so we'll have it for the grand finale. Both of those pens, so I cannot wait. I've got my little cover minder from Jenny the Uncrafty Crafter, who is Oh Snap Crafters Cafe. Check her live. Her lives are every Thursday, I want to say at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. She does show you any new cover minders that she has for her shop, and she's got the dots. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of them. The micro glue dots, she's got them in scented. She's the first one to do them in the scented scent in different scents. So check those out. They're on pre-order right now. I don't know if she has any more pre-orders available, but just keep an update on her shop to let her know. But she's got a lot of really cool retro 90s, 80s cover minders, among with several other that'll go along with any of your events. We've got the Swax, which is from Abigail Marie, and she's given us a beach scented ones. And this is just this, the ones that are going to go out. You have a really nice shell, and to preserve the front of it, you want to just use from the back. And the way that you use it, there's two shells and a starfish. So just always go from the back side, so that way you can keep the front nice and pretty. But I have ones here that I got from a while ago. And what you do to load it up, Basically, you just kind of scrape the bottom of it a little bit. So when you scrape the bottom, it'll go in the hole. Any excess you have, you can rub off and just put right back on the wax itself. The wax is moldable. If you get it warm, it does soften it just a little bit so that way you can stick any excess wax back on here, which is great. And they all have little gems inside of them. So this one you can kind of see that there's some gemstones in there, but they all have at least one gemstone. So that's really cool. And that's from Swartz Handmade or Abigail Marie. And then we also have our Nick Notions trays, which has the Retro Cult Classic written on it. And you can see I'm just storing stuff in this big one. I'm using this as a collector's one, and I love the shrimp boats. And then I also have, I have the longer trays as well, but I really have been enjoying the shrimp boats for this event to use them. And I just kind of store everything that I need in this one. So yeah, so thank you to our sponsors. We've got roseprofitcreations.com, Hannah's Alliterations. She's providing a custom image that she will do for you and sell you the rights to that image. And we're going to team that up with Rose Profits, $25 gift card to do the diamond painting or any other merchandise that you'd like. She's got cups, mouse pads, notepads, a lot of different other type of merchandise. You can use that license and convert that into something else as well, not just a diamond painting, which works great when they go together. And I'm just going to go ahead and diamond paint. I'm doing a whip and chat. Whip and chat is a work in process. I talk while you chat, or I chat while you work, and I work as well. But I did want to show you something special I just got from one of our other sponsors, who is DP with Sparklers. And I told you guys that I was going to be updating and enhancing my eyes, and anything blue in this canvas outside, yeah, anything pretty much blue in this canvas. Hopefully I got enough drills. I am going to blitz up with DP with Sparkler stuff. So I went ahead and got stuff ordered. So I wanted to show you what I got. She puts them in this nice bubble wrap envelope, which is awesome. I didn't get a lot because I'm still kind of learning how to spruce things up. This came with cardboard pieces because I did have her color card kit, so I guess it's to not make it bend, to help prevent it from bending. But her color card kit, let's go ahead and open it up and I'll show you what it is. I'm kind of working upside down here, so I do apologize, but I'll flip the camera over for you. This is a really cool card. It's really hard, and it's got it's kind of like a dry erase. Now that got kind of bent, but it'll be okay. It feels like it's a little bit like a dry erase type of formula or coverage for it. And it's dpwithsparklers.com. So on the back of it, it tells you if you're looking for a code or a color number, the numbers are all in order, so you can easily find the DMC code here. So if I wanted to say find DMC 3051, that's on section, it's color number 11. So let me go ahead, 3051 is in 11. And let's go ahead and take a look. There's 11, and 3051 is here at the bottom. So what that means, I'm not sure what the numbers on the bottom of it mean, but what it allows you to do is put 4 different type of colors in the little box. So 937, you can have a crystal, you can have an AB, you can have a regular drill, and then a sparkler, I guess, to go with it, you know, of the same shade. So that way you can get a quick glance of how things can match up, or how you can enhance your diamond painting, which is really, really cool. Plus, it allows you to keep an inventory of stuff that you may already have, so you don't have to keep sorting through everything when you're trying to figure out what's going to work for your painting. So I thought that was really, really cool. It works with regular drills, ABs, anything. You do have to put your own sticky on it. So if I was going to use something, I would probably just use a little bit of Mod Podge, take a toothpick, and just put a little dot down and stick my drill on top of it. So yeah, so I got that. I thought that would be really, really cool. Um, and then these are my selections I got. I'm not sure why I got the pink one. I think that might have still been on a list from before. I haven't figured it out yet, but I will take a look and see why I ordered a pink one. Um, because I don't even know if I have that color. Yeah, I do have the pink. I'm not sure why I ordered it though, so that's okay because I can still use it and it's for Valentine's Day. And then I did Nomeo. I got her little gnome that she 3D prints. So that one is really, really cute. I'm doing Ticket to Ride as well, so she was nice enough to let me use the retro. Um, I think it was Ritzy10 is our code. If not, I will post it below. But you can use our code for the event. It'll save you, I think, 10 or 15%. Just look at the code below. Whatever numbers are by the codes in below for all of our sponsors, that's the amount that you would be saving. But anyway, so I got 3846 and I've got a pretty 996. Those are really, really pretty crystal colors. And I also have 796 in crystal. So these are definitely going to go for the eyes. I love that dark royal blue. And then I got a 3843 as an AB. I don't think she had these in crystal, so I just went ahead with the AB as a good mix in as well. Now there are some blues that I did miss, so I'm going to just figure out what to do with that or use a similar blue. But yeah, so that was my order from DP with Sparklers. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think she gave me, I don't know, there was something else in here. Let me see what else was in here. So I've got, let's see, a little, I think these are squares. I'm not sure, but she gives a little sample. Look at that bling and that sparkle. Oh my goodness. And this is just the inventory sheet. So there is her diamond painting with sparklers. And there is her social media information. And of course you get, ooh, a hieroglyphic. Hieroglyphic? I don't know if that's the right term. This is just a packing slip. I'm just seeing if there's anything written on it that I need to be aware of. But she does provide your packing slip from the order. They double check. And yeah, so if you're doing, yep, so they check off everything that came through. So I don't know if my address was showing, but whatever. Anywho, so that is some of our sponsors for the event. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for helping to sponsor. And I hope everybody is having fun with the event. We had our first two viewings in the, oh, I don't know what the viewing room is called, but it's on the group page if you'd like to join it. It is private just because I don't need any police or anything coming at my door or in the chats. It's just for fun and it gives us an opportunity to listen to music, watch some movies together. And we had our first two viewings. We saw, what did we see? We saw 9 to 5 was the first one, and then today we went ahead and watched Pretty in Pink, and it was just nice hanging out. You know, if you were able to make it, you made it. If not, hey, it's all cool. I get to hang with my friends and watch movies, which is nice. Um, and you know, we all it was just like one or two of us, so we kind of just commented on the movies. But if there was a lot more people in there, then you know, we'd be respectful and kind of be a little hush hush so we can all enjoy and not talk over each other and actually hear the movie. But it was just kind of cool to get to just flash back to watching those movies, which is the whole point of the event, is just to flash back and have fun. So thank you all for joining. If you haven't already, we've got the rest of this week. You have until Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time to post your progress photos, and we'll do the drawing. And Brandy's going to do her drawing for week 2 on her live, the beginning of her live on Monday. She's got a really cool guest that's coming. Her painting was made available and definitely will work for the Retro Coat Classic if you were able to order it. I'm sure there'll be more coming out in the future. Don't mind my PJs. I'm wearing little retro bears and teddy bears because, hey, it's fun to hang out in your PJs. Remember when you have pajama parties? Yeah, so that's kind of what I did today. I had my own little pajama party all day, watching movies and hanging out with people. And that was nice. We all need that sometimes. But yeah, so Brandy's going to be doing her live. So make sure you catch her live. It's going to be on Monday. And I want to say it's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But we did post that in the group page for the Retro Cult Classic. So make sure you check it. The link will be there as well for you all. And we will be going live on Wednesday for sure. I feel so bad for missing out because Tima, I don't know if you guys saw the picture for Tina, but oh my gosh, was that girl decked out? And I felt so horrible for having to cancel the event. I was pushing it to the last minute to try and have it, and my headache was just getting worse and worse. And I ended up, I think, I sent the message saying that the live was canceled, and then I passed out shortly after it. I had a quick meeting with Brandy and Christopher on what we are going to do, and we decided we are just going to go ahead and postpone the event. I'll do a whip and chat instead, and we'll do the live viewing rooms. And I really appreciate everybody for, understanding and whatnot. I really didn't want to leave y'all hanging. It was one of the concerns I have when I do lives is how I feel that day because I can get really, really drained. But on a good note, I was happy on Friday when I was able to fully recover. So that was nice. Um, how has my week gone so far? Oh, I wanted to kind of do like a get to know me. So one of the things about getting to know me is that I have a full-time job and I work from home and I talk to people on the phones all day long. So I don't really talk about the situations with the customers because, privacy. But I will talk about work. So I was trying to get to work on time. I was up early and got my daughter breakfast going, which I rarely do. I'm usually asleep. When she goes to school, I'll wake up to wake her up, and then once I know that she's up, I kind of go back to sleep. Just because I do stay up really, really late, which is, just something I need to kind of stop doing. But anyway, so I was getting to work early. I was logging into my system, and my system just was not wanting to start. And so, or my work system, and I just couldn't get logged in. And it was like 10 minutes go by. I finally, call them and say, hey, I'm still trying to get in. And they're like, okay, well, we know if you're not here right away, then something really major is going on because you're always here. She's like, you're always here. And I was like, yeah. So I tried for another 10 minutes, didn't work. And for some reason, my server, every time I would disconnect, I would completely shut down my modem as well as my router, which is one in the same, and my computer. I would do a cold boot with my computer and then boot up everything else. And I was still connected to the server. The server was not disconnecting me to restart, and I wasn't getting any icons to do my job, that I had to load up. So I finally had to wait for the help desk. They wanted to do all the system testing. They were on my computer. I'm like, no, I just need to get dropped from the server. I'm sure that once I get dropped from the server, that everything will work fine. And sure enough, it did. So I bypassed whatever type of stuff they were trying to do and got the server working. So I was able to get into work an hour and a half. I wasn't late or anything, but yeah, I was like an hour and a half. And then I couldn't take my break because my break was at the time that I was doing all the system stuff. So I'm just like, let me just take my break in the afternoon. I'll double it with my second break so I can have a longer time to go drop off my daughter. And she's like, that's fine. However, right before I was supposed to drop off my daughter, I get a message saying they need to talk to me about her behavior from the day before. And I was like, oh, wonderful. So I was just like, I can't really do it on my way there. I will try and, talk to them real quick while I'm coming, so I can get home in time because I was getting a half an hour instead of just the 15 minutes. And I was still 8 minutes late. Lo and behold, my daughter has a very mature way of talking and she doesn't know how to tone it down where there's younger kids. So the maturity of her discussions while they work with her Thursday class, they weren't working with her Wednesday art class because it was, too young for the group. So she just had to have a little talk about what was appropriate and not appropriate. And it wasn't anything bad. It's just that, innocent ears aren't used to talking about certain subject matters. And while they're okay for the older kids, it's not okay for the little kids because they're just, they're not raised that way. I guess they're, anyway, not for me to decide. But yeah, I agreed. And, she made Jackie understand. And hopefully now going forward, everything will be okay. And it wasn't anything bad. Like, she didn't do anything huge bad, but I guess someone had said that SpongeBob was gay or somebody was gay. I don't know. And she's like, gay? And then how the talk goes. So that was like one of the situations. And then my daughter draws really dark images. So one of the images she was drawing in her art class was someone with a decapitated head. So like normally that's okay, and art people draw dark stuff all the time, and that's what she likes to draw. So yeah, we're going to therapy just to make sure she's okay in that area, but um also just for her, anxiety and her ADHD to get a better handle on it, and help her with school organization and everything else because she's going through teenage times, and it's a good, sorry about that, hold on one second. All right, I'm so sorry, that scared the crap out of me. My dog normally does not bark like that. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, so that was a little talk that we had today, and I still ended up getting back to work late, so I just stayed at work a little bit off the clock. Excuse me. um I'll probably get in trouble for doing that, but whatever. I just like to be an honest person. And what else? What else? What else? So we decided to bike ride. Okay, that was interesting. It was we're going through a really warm spell for some reason during the day. It was like 69 degrees. Um, what was it? Friday morning. So Jackie really wanted a bike ride to school. And I was like, okay, let's go for a bike ride. I went, after I dropped her off at school, locked her bike up. I then did my own bike ride for exercise. And then I went to go pick her up, and I was like, about 20 minutes before I had to pick her up, I was checking the weather because it was getting really gloomy outside. And they're like, oh, in 5 minutes there's going to be rain. And I was like, oh, great. I'm like, out here when it's warm, because we're in eastern North Carolina, it's okay if it rains, but I was worried about her backpack. And I know that she has a huge issue with um, being wet in general. And, you know, yeah. So it wasn't going to be a good situation. Textures, she hates, certain textures, and being wet is, I don't know if that's a texture, but she hates that feeling. So I was like, I left a little bit early, like maybe 10 minutes earlier or 5 minutes earlier than I needed to, just so I can get her bike undone and walk it up to the front of the school so it was under something in case it did rain. She had a little bit of a worry as we had to cross a really busy highway. Our school is right off the highway. So luckily there's a light and whatnot. So it was just maneuvering into, they have a right turn. There's two lanes. So one is to turn right and the other is to go straight. So we had to go into the middle lane or the second lane. And she was just a little worried trying to cross over from the right hand side to get to it. It's just a really small two-lane road. So she just had a little worry about it. We finally got to there and she was kind of freaking out about crossing the highway, and I totally get that. I said just stay behind the car, and unfortunately a car like kind of went in front of us turning left and didn't give us the right of way, which was really really rude, but we were far enough back where it wasn't really affecting us. But I hate people that are turning left because they think they have the right of way, and it's just really idiotic. But we had a good bike ride home. It started to lightly drizzle on our way home, and then the drops started getting a little bit bigger. And then by the time we got home and inside, in about like 10 minutes, it started pouring. And then a little bit later, there was thunder. So I'm so happy that we made it. She had a lot of fun bike riding to school, though, which was really nice. And I think the teachers were, who saw us, I think one of the bus drivers was like impressed that we did that because we're in, um, an area that, there's no bike ride pass or anything like that, or walkways to walk to school, which is really stupid because school is like maybe a mile, not even a mile away from us. And I would love to, so we have to walk the highway and there's no crosswalks or anything. I guess people out here don't think of walking, but walking would be ideal. We just happen to be like right in front of the main road that goes to the school. So others are a little bit further back, so it does take a little bit longer to walk. But it's all good. Mama's there, and pretty soon she'll be going to middle school, so that's all going to change anyway. And she'll have to take the bus because I am not driving that far to sit in line to go pick her up. Yeah, so middle school is a little bit further away. The high school is right near us, which is nice. She can pretty much walk to the high school, but not to the middle school. That's a little bit further away. Um, what else? What else? What else? Okay, so more about me is I'm kind of pretty much a single mom. This is one of the things that threw us off with the live and doing whip and chats and everything from my birthday, which was on the 11th. I had my live, and I really wanted to celebrate with you guys that Wednesday and the Wednesday following. As you know, a birthday celebration, and it just my husband unexpectedly came home. He's an on the road truck driver, so I wasn't expecting him home at least until March, which is our anniversary. Just we're not going to go there, but it's better that he is on the road. Let's just leave it at that. He hates the fact that I diamond paint and that I have friends all over the world, but that's besides the point. This is my time and my time to spend with you guys, but he's just not a supporter of it. So I get really nervous about doing lives when he's home. So I was like, okay, cool. I can do the event in February when he's not here because he never comes home for my birthday. And, I had this all planned, and he messages me 2 hours before he comes home. I'll be home in 2 hours. I said, okay, well, I've got a live tonight, so you need to make yourself scarce. So, yeah, so it was really nerve-wracking. And I think that's another reason why I didn't really do a whip and chat, so I do apologize. Um, and why we didn't do any type of viewings earlier was because it was just too hectic with him here and my daughter, and you know you know how it goes. But anyway, so that was a fun trip because he actually wanted to get out of the house and he wanted to go to the aquarium for my birthday. I'm like, well, no, it's my birthday. I want to choose where we want to go to. And aquarium, you can take Jackie to, on Sunday while I'm working. He didn't, but it was an option for him to do. I said, I would rather go see the battleship. So we went to the battleship, the USS Carolina, I think is what it was. Is it in Wilmington, North Carolina, I think. I forget the city it's in. Um, no, not Smithfield. Wilmington, I think is what it was. And so that was a lot of fun. The first time that I went there, I got claustrophobic. I was a lot more overweight than I am right now. So I got kind of claustrophobic. This time I handled it like a champ. I was able to walk up, walk down. I think it logged me at about 33 flights of stairs that I was climbing. Yeah, so I was like, my legs were giving out a little bit like they did when I went to Universal in California. Oh, that was a bad trip. But anyway, um, it was good. It was fun. We enjoyed the time. Jackie, had fun with it as well. And I would definitely do it again. And then I really wanted to get a unique restaurant. So Friday I had taken Jackie to one of our outlet malls. And then I really wanted African food. Oh my gosh. I don't know why, but like I like trying different foods, and it's like they had oxtail soup, I think is what it was. I'm not 100% sure. Um, but they had oxtails, and they had not the fufu. They don't call it fufu. They call it something else, but it's like fufu, and it's an oatmeal base because it's what is it called? Sweet potatoes. It's like breaded, not bread, but they mash the sweet potatoes up to make like a paste that they can use to scoop up the soup with. But the sweet potatoes have too many carbs, so they do also an oatmeal base. And I guess it's fufu. And I was so wanting to have it, but it was 30 minutes further away in the wrong direction. I was like, do I really want to drive out there? So I think we're just going to go another time. And I couldn't choose which like restaurant we wanted to go to. So I was just like, oh, forget it. I was too tired as it was. I think I barely made it home. I had to turn on my phone and watch something while I drove. Don't ask me how I do that, but I just prop my phone up on my dash and I have it going so I can listen to it. I'm not sitting there watching it, but um, yeah, so I was able to make it home okay, and then I just crashed when I got home. Like wanted to fall asleep in the car itself, which I sometimes do, but no, not this time. So that was fun, and so we'll go eat the fufu and the soup another time. I'll take Jackie. Plus, I'm kind of worried that she wasn't gonna like it. Um, so that was Saturday. Sunday I had to work, and then the week started over. And I think Sunday I was feeling fine. I ended up getting a really bad migraine that Wednesday that I was supposed to do the live um, the following week. And yeah, I was just like, I had it that morning. I probably should have canceled. I couldn't figure out if it was due to the fact that I wasn't drinking enough. I had just done 2 hours of, like an hour of exercise the day before. And I think I'm either overdid it because that was like the most exercise I've ever done. Either I overdid it or I wasn't intaking enough liquid, aka water, and I think it might have been the water situation. But it wasn't until that evening, probably around 7, that I was like, I finally gave in and I'm like, Jackie, just get me, a Tylenol. I'm not supposed to take certain medication, the NSAIDs, NSAIDs. I forget how, the acronym for it. But I'm not supposed to take those because it's when you have gastric bypass, it kind of messes with your liver or kidney. So I think I'm going to have to change up my medicine. I wasn't taking a lot of it, or I didn't think I was taking it often enough, but I started to. So I think I'm going to have to switch it up just to be on the safe side. And give me 1 second. Oh my gosh. Leave it to the kid. Um, So yeah, she gave me some. I fell asleep and it was about 7:30 and I think I woke up around midnight. So I had a good 5 hours of sleep and then I was up for the rest of the night into the morning. I don't think I fell back asleep, to be honest with you. So I got her to school and made her breakfast and then was like, okay, well, I can get to work. And sure enough, I couldn't work. Yeah, so yeah. Um, So, because we're doing the retro cult classic, we're going to have fun on Wednesday. We're going to have Rose Prophet of Rose Prophet Creations and Hannah of Hannah Iterations. So, it'll be really, really nice to see them. And they can tell you a little bit about themselves. And we can try, if you guys ever have questions you want to ask them, I'll post up on the page and you guys can have questions prepared for both of them. And they'll show you some art or let you know how they're Hannah will kind of explain what she's doing as her provision for sponsoring the event in terms of the custom that she's doing. So that'll be fun. And then we'll just ask, some fun questions. But I did want to share a little bit of trivia with you guys. I was looking at the information on the different errors and what they called the different eras. So, because I grew up in the 70s, I'm going to start there because it's like kind of like the 60s, 70s decade. So, I'm going to take a little break from diamond painting. But did you guys know that apparently the 70s decade was called the me decade? So, I Googled it And I found this on Quora, Quora, I guess. I don't know if that's really it, but I'm just going to read you what it says. It says Tom Wolfe called the 1970s the me decade. Across the land, Americans seemed determined to escape from wars and social movements of the previous decade. Disillusionment with national and global action led many to look inward and find solace in discovering more about themselves. So I thought that was really, really cool. Let me see if it says anything about the 60s. The counterculture movement of the 1960s and 70s was very influential in modern American history. A more individualized identity was sought after by coming of age outsiders that took over the nation due to the baby boom. So I was just like browsing some of these and I was like, oh my God, this is really, really cool. So then I was like, let me check on the 80s. So the 80s, this decade, a group of 10 years, is sometimes called the sorry, this decade is sometimes called the greed decade. In English speaking countries, unlike the 1960s and 70s, this is when the word yuppie was used to describe young urban professionals or young adults who lived in cities and started to get good jobs. Yeah. So the 90s, let's see, what were they called? Let me see. Okay, so then we have the 90s era, and the 90s is known as the post Cold War decade, often culturally defined as the period from the revolutions of 1989 that marked the end of the Cold War until the Global War on Terror, GWOT, um, which includes the September 11 attacks, the war in Afghanistan, and the Iraq War. Yeah, sometimes those are time periods I don't really want to remember or ever wish happened, but I'm not going to go into any of the politics of that. Let's see. So the year 2000s, let's see if it's got that in here. What was the 2000s era called? The aughts. AUGHTS, American English, or naughties, which is the British English, are terms referring to the decades 2000 to 2009. These arise from the words ought and not, respectively, both meaning zero. Okay, well, that is interesting. So, what era is called 2000? Um, it was era of 2000s was littered with recessions, stock market crashes, financial scandals, antitrust cases, and flat out disasters all around. And since the year, so 2000s was the 10th year in the decade of the 90s. Since the year zero cannot exist and a decade is 10 years, year 10 was the last year of the first decade. Go forward through the centuries, 1999 was the ninth year of the 1990s. So 2000 was the 10th year of the 1990s and the last year of the 20th century. Pretty cool, huh? I'm not going to go any further forward because then we're getting outside of the year 2000, but I thought those were pretty cool facts. And then, all right, so then we have the generations. So the greatest generation, we're going to go way back, was 1901 to 1924 because they were impacted by the Great Depression, which molded their children in regards to frugality. Um, the silent generation was between 1925 to 1945. This is the smallest group due to consequences from the Great Depression and World War II. Between the size of the population and the hesitancy to speak out against social issues due to the McCarthy era of government, they earned their name. Between 1946 and 1964 are called baby boomers, along with the millennials, are one of the most misunderstood and mislabeled groups of the entire list. Countless internet jokes and videos of young people saying okay boomer in referencing an older person not understanding the modern world and how it works. The baby boomers are actually one of the most relevant groups in modern societies. They were integral and present for many of the technology advances in the last 50 years. They have been more adaptable to modern growth and learning how to function in today's technology age. Boomers are between the ages of 58 and 76. You have Generation X, which is from 80 to 94. oops, I'm sorry. Generation X is from 65 to 79, which is what I am because I'm 1971. Generation Xers are the most relevant generation of modern times. Oh, yeah. In relation to technology and serve almost as a bridge from older populations to younger ones. They were present for the inception of the internet, video games, artificial intelligence, and is the population that has created many of the advances. Millennials are between 1980 and 1994. They're greatly misunderstood and often mislabeled. Older folks tend to blame someone younger for being a millennial when they don't understand the values of older times and hold the same views as they did when they were young. It's quite common to hear someone use the term millennial to refer to people in their 20s, although true millennials are between the ages of 28 and 42. Generation Z is born between 1995 and 2012. So this is going to be like the last era for our retro event. This group of younger people is an interesting one. They have been exposed to social media and were the first population to cope with cyberbullying and other internet related issues. It was also during this time that school related violence and climate crisis have been more prevalent. So then you have Gen Alpha between 2013 and 2025 is the next one. So yeah, so some very interesting information. I just Googled this just as a heads up. Don't take it factual word for word. It's Google. So don't come at me for anything. But yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. So I did find a game and I didn't have a chance to order it, so maybe we'll have it for next year. But it goes through the what was the first one? The silence one was the first one. The silent generation, and then it has a silent generation, the baby boomers, the Gen X, and the millennials. So there's like four categories of the game, and you can choose which category you want to do. Or I'm not sure how the game worked, but I didn't order it in time. I do want to have it for next year. I think it would be a lot of fun. So we will keep that in mind for next year's event. So yeah, but just some interesting facts to share with you. So, well, some of my favorite things I did as a kid, since we are going to flash back, is I loved to go camping. We used to go camping on beach San Elijo, San Luis Obispo, which are in California, and El Capitan. Those were the three beaches we frequented. And we would have a whole group of us go. And my mom played volleyball, and a lot of the people that she did volleyball with also we went camping with, and one of them had a son, and I had a crush on the son. I had a big crush for several years, but I was also a bit younger and a bit dorkier, so that never worked out. But yeah, it was fun. I love to go camping. We would, it was a time where you can just go bike ride and do things on your own. You didn't have to be watched. You didn't have to call home. You can just go off and do what you want and your parents wouldn't worry about you. Not what at all what they're doing today. Today you have to freak out if your kid's not home in like 5 minutes, right? Um, so it was just really nice. We would go on long bike rides and we would cook marshmallows. I would burn from the sun because I never use sunscreen. Don't come at me. I would get huge blisters because I'd spend all day in the water on a boogie board. If you don't know what a boogie board is, it's a foam piece of foam um, that has like a shark's fin on the bottom so you can maneuver. Some of them do, some of them don't. But it lets you glide over the water. It's kind of like a surfboard, but it's very short. It's just about the length of your torso, and it's foam. And it comes with a leash, so you tie the leash around you so you don't lose your boogie board, just like surfboards kind of do. And you just ride the wave. You don't stand on them, you just lay on them. And it was a lot of fun. And I love those things. I would just sit in the water for hours because I was such a water kid. But then it would creep me out when a piece of seaweed would brush along my foot because once you're out too far, you can no longer really touch the ground and then you start freaking out. Yeah, so I had to always get closer to shore some of the times, but it was so much fun. And then we'd roast marshmallows, and they had things called rangers, junior rangers is what it was called. So the campgrounds would have a guide or a ranger, you know, a nature ranger, a park ranger, kind of like the policeman of the park. And they would take all the kids on little tours and teach them stuff about nature and the outdoors and wildlife and stuff. So each one you went on, you got a little patch or a sticker or something, and you became a junior ranger. So the week or two that we would go camping, because we would go for like a week or two at a time, you'd acquire all of the patches, and yeah, then they would tell, like on the last day, they would tell camp stories, or we would have a big old campfire. And yeah, it was brought back in memories. I like those times. Those were fun times. Um, and then what else did we do? I don't know. We had the old wonky computers, big old box computers, and the big old floppy drives, which was on a big old flat disk. I don't know. Those were the days. I used to stay up for hours and I would play this game called King's Quest from Sierra. Sierra was a company kind of like the Sierra Mist soda, and they had this whole entire King's Quest series. And I used to work at a software store, so I got to play the games for free. I check them out and I play them and I get through the storyline, and it was just fun. I spent hours doing that. And then, what was another thing we liked to do? I don't remember. We used to. Oh, I had a really cool gypsy outfit that I loved to wear for Halloween, and it was really, really pretty. And it came with the little belt with the little I want to say bells. They're not bells, but they kind of like jingle or jangle. A lot of times they'll wear it when you do Zumba. They were wearing them, or belly dancing. It was kind of like that. It was just my favorite. And then I had a poodle skirt and leather saddle shoes, and I loved wearing those. I forgot the top that I wore with it, but yeah, that was pretty cool. It was pretty much, I mean, I didn't really have anything major. We used to have birthday parties at ice skating, roller skating rinks, and at the bowling alley. That's like where 90% of our birthday parties were. I remember having them when I had him at home. My dad, oh my God, it was so funny. My dad would set up two suitcases, old suitcases, and he would stuff all of these clothes in the suitcases, and we would have a relay race. So each person that had the relay race had to add one, you know, you'd run up to the suitcase, you put an article of clothing on, and then over your clothes, you know, because they were huge clothes. They were like my dad's size clothes. And they would take it back to the next person. That person would put on that article of clothing and go get another article of clothing to put on, and then bring it back. And so the person that they were turning it into had to now wear two items. So you just kept accumulating items after items. And whoever, when it got to the end, whoever had the most clothing on won. So that was our favorite thing. And then we would sit around on the grass before red ants were infesting our grass, which is happening everywhere nowadays. Red ants are taking over the world. I hate those little suckers. But we would sit and play Heads Up, 7 Up, and Duck Duck Goose. Duck Duck Goose, you basically sat in a circle and someone would go around tapping your head and saying duck, 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 duck. And when they wanted you to chase them, they'd call you Goose, and you'd have to go chase the duck. And then you'd have to, like, if you were the one pounding on everyone's head saying duck, 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 then you had to get to that person's seat that you said Goose to before they caught you. Yeah, so pretty silly games, but they were fun. They kept us busy. And then I had a typewriter. Oh my gosh, like the old clickety clackety type of typewriters. And I would use the typewriters to try and improve my speed. And I would actually type out lyrics to songs because some of the songs we couldn't understand. And so I would have this huge entire lyric book. Now we can just Google everything, right? But yeah, I had this huge notebook full of all my lyrics. I loved to do that. And it helped me with when I took piano too because I was able to get like the rhythm. Oh, look, check it out. I'm using the Art Dot storage case. I love it. And I have the big one I still have to unbox. Don't come at me for that, but I still have that to unbox. I just haven't had the space and I wanted to work on my diamond painting foremost, so I will be getting that unboxed in the next day or so and loaded up. But my whip and chat was like the most important because I missed everyone. Oh my gosh. Oh, here's the other pen that I love. Absolutely love. This one is the Bistro Blanks one. So I really love that. So that's like the difference on the thickness. This is really, really thick and this is a medium thickness. So I really like how comfortable this one is. And I also like how comfortable this one is. So they're two different styles that I love them both and they're both gorgeous. But anyway, so yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Star Wars, my dad took us down to the Chinese theater in LA to watch Star Wars, and I grew up on musicals, so I saw Phantom of the Opera like 3 times, I think. Saw Phantom of the Opera, Cats, Les Mis. Oh my God, Lord of the Dance. Ah, absolutely love that one. But I only liked it with Michael Flatley. I don't like it with anybody else. And really quite haven't gotten the same feeling with Riverdance or any of his other ones. But oh my God, I would watch Riverdance or Lord of the Dance over and over and over again. I was just so in awe. It's basically a tap dancing show and it tells a story while they tap dance, and it's like a military type dancing. It's Irish dancing. Sorry, not military. It was kind of in the form or the theme of it being a military or militant against the good guy type of thing. You have to watch it. Like if you're into something awe-inspiring like that, then definitely check it out. I'm sure there's it's on YouTube, but it's called Lord of the Dance with Michael Flatley. Some of the stuff I do skip through. I really like the tap dancing. That's my favorite. So yeah, so I spend hours watching that just over and over and over again. And then Star Wars was a big one. Wizard of Oz. Oh my gosh, I remember watching, we would watch Wizard of Oz every single year, ever since I was a little kid. And I would sit with my dad and we would watch. And The Wicked Witch, when I was younger, I won't have a picture this year of it. I'll get a picture next year for you though. Um, but I would sit on my dad's lap, I think, when The Wicked Witch came out. Yeah. And listening, Dad drove me crazy because every time we drove with him in the car, I am not segueing these at all. I'm just trying to get it all out there because I feel like I've got to crunch everything into like an hour. So, but my dad used to drive us crazy. He would either listen to the sports on the radio while we were driving with him, or he would listen to jazz. Oh my gosh, I hated jazz. Um, yeah, it was jazz or the sports channel, talk radio, sports radio. I couldn't stand either of those. And it just drove us We're like, Dad, can you turn it down or put that up in the front of the car instead? Yeah, so finally, when they came out with Walkmans and CD players, if you don't know what that is, go look it up because that means you're too young to know. Um, we had those blasted in our ears. We were so thankful for those because then we can just tune everything out. Yeah, so so that's pretty much little things about me. If you have more you want to ask, feel free to ask. I will be more than happy to answer. You can post them in the comments below. We will be going live on Wednesday, Christopher and me, for our third week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Brandy is going to be going this Monday, and she will be doing week 2 giveaway. And on Wednesday, so you get 2 in a week, Wednesday we'll be doing week 3 because we're kind of rotating. And then the grand finale, of course, will be on my live on Wednesday, March 1st. So you are going to want to make sure that everything is in the grand finale last week um, of the event. So make sure that you do post as well for that very, very last week. And the grand prize, that'll be for the grand prize. So if you have your finished canvases or not, um, anybody that posts that week will go towards the grand prize as well. And then we are doing a separate giveaway for the photo contest. So make sure you do get your updates and your photos in there of yourself during a time, retro or dressed up, either way. And make sure that you post it so that way you can dress up now, or show us something blast from the past. But anyone participating in there will be in a special, special giveaway for that event. And that's going to be a two, I think there's going to be several items available for that one. Those are going to be big ones. So you definitely want to participate in that. You don't want to miss it. And then there'll be 3 grand prize winners. So we'll do like a main grand prize, a second runner-up, and then the third runner-up. And so I'm very, very excited. And I just want to thank everybody for participating. I hope going down memory lane, I hope this has given you, a chance to flash back to the past, either, with stuff that you're watching, movies, TV shows, music, that you guys are getting into your own little jam. If you can join us for one of the live viewings, that's great. If not, at least 2 of us will be in there watching. And I think we're going to be doing the Never Ending Story. I'm not sure when we're going to do that exactly. I may do it tomorrow, Sunday, after I get out of work and after I go live on Rose's channel, because Rose, if she's feeling well, will be live. So we'll probably do the Never Ending Story after her live. And then that way everybody can watch. It'll be a weekend. It'll be in the evening. And then Christopher and I are going to be doing, if I could find, The Birdcage, La Cage aux Folles with Robin Williams and a few others. I really like that movie. That was a good movie. So if you guys are interested in joining us, also kind of help prepare for, even though it's way ahead of time, the hashtag June Pride. So who knows, we might watch things then too. You never, never know. But yeah, so come join us. It's been fun. If there's something that you're interested in watching, let us know, and let us know what time that you're interested in watching it. You can do it in the viewing room post that I put up there. I think I put a lights, camera, action type of logo or something. I forget what I called it, but post your feedback or what you're interested in on there. I did create a list of different movies and shows to watch, so if there's something on interest for you, just let me know what time you're available and we can try and get something set up and maybe get another viewing party going. And we'll share the screen, kind of like what you do in Skype. Or is there Skype? Is Skype even around anymore? I don't know what it's called. It's that thing that people use for work in businesses and schools. I forget what it's called. You guys know what I'm talking about, though. Don't mind my old foggy brain. But anyway, I just want to say thank you guys all. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this chat. Hopefully I wasn't too wishy-washy or going too fast. And I made it fun, a little bit of some facts for you. And I love you guys. I really appreciate you being around, hanging around. If this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. When you're viewing this, it's probably going to be right there, I think, if I flip the camera around. But yeah, hit the subscribe button and then follow the bell. You'll be notified of any future things that I do to update. I'll have some unboxings to do as well. That'll be just some quick unboxings, nothing too overdone or special, but special to me because they're our sponsors and I definitely want to give them a shout out. And I appreciate what everyone's doing. and all the work and effort that you're putting into this. Love you guys. Give me a thumbs up, comment below, and have a wonderful day. Bye.